Good evening and welcome to Travel Talk with Lorie. Tonight I have a very special guest and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you because he's from Senior Living Today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for letting me be here. Cheryl Braswell with Senior Living Today. And of course, one thing that seniors do like to do, if they're anything like me, is travel. I do enjoy it absolutely positively, and this right here is your best travel agent in Nash County, brother. I'm here to tell you. So I'm looking forward to talking this evening.
Well, we're going to have a good time talking about senior travel. But first, I want to thank our sponsor, Rocky Mount Toyota, because they're such a great auto dealer for new vehicles, for used vehicles, and even they do a little rental now and then on vehicles. So they're just a great place to shop. So we want to thank them for being our sponsor.
They're actually doing a little work for me right now on a vehicle, so I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
I mean, and they treat you just like a king and queen when you go in. I thought it was just me because they sponsor my show, but then I began to realize it is everybody that comes in that door they treat the same way. So that is just a great experience when you're buying a vehicle or needing to take your vehicle to be repaired. So we just had a little taste of Choice Touring by Globus, and that's, of course, a lot of that's European travel. They also do tours in the United States, and you were talking about Napa Valley a few minutes ago. And that's a great area to tour out west with Globus or Cosmos.
Now, when you set up a tour like that, Lorie, is that done, I think of the big buses, or how do they usually conduct those
they're on
tours?
a motor coach. Okay. They're on a motor coach, and of course you get free Wi-Fi, but they're on a motor coach. And now, they are limiting the amount of people on a motor coach to 22 because they want to have plenty of space for social distances. They want to make sure, that they're not overcrowding their motor coaches now. But that's how you do it. Of course, they take care of everything. They take care of where you're staying. They take you from one place to the other. You get all your touring is VIP, so you're front of the line, so you know you're going to get in to see all the attractions you want to see.
So with like in Napa Valley area, where do you usually stay? I mean, are they going to area hotels? Are they trying to do a lot of B&Bs, or how's that?
It depends. A lot of times they'll do whatever the better hotel is in the area. But I have known them sometimes to use, stay almost close to right there at the winery. Right. In the B&B. So it depends on normally what the individual's looking for and what type of tour it is.
Okay. So what size tours groups are we talking about? Can you just do 3 or 4 people, or?
I can add 3 or 4 people onto a tour. I can fill the bus. Normally the motor coach is 34 people. And of course, like I said, in today's reality, we're looking at 22. Right. But they did let me know if it's my group and everybody's together, they'll put 34 people on that motor coach. Okay. And I think that touring that way is a really great idea for seniors because you've got a lot of other seniors with you on the tour. Right. You're going to get to see everything. You're going to get to have people to enjoy dinners with. I just think it's a lot better than when you're thinking, 1 or 2 off by themselves.
Well, you get to meet a lot of people that you never would meet again, or never would have met in the first place.
Exactly.
So it's a great way to make connections.
And they have some great ones. I mean, their fall foliage up in New England area is just an awesome tour. You're all up in Vermont and Maine, and as soon as you mention lobster bake to me, I'm there. Okay, I'm on that tour, okay? So I think it's just a great way. Now, of course, I can plan individual trips out to Napa Valley or up north to visit the fall foliage. I can do it, customize it for you. Like maybe you've got a group of 6 or 8. Right. They want to travel together and you don't want to be on a guided tour. I can plan that for you, plan your hotels. If you're going up and not doing a tour, I definitely recommend B&Bs. Bread and breakfast in Vermont and all up in that area. There's just some great ones up in that area. And
normally the B&Bs, well, I guess there's just a huge variety, anywhere from literally a B&B that has one, accommodates one couple to places that might have a half a dozen rooms available.
Exactly. And of course, hopefully coming into next year, we're going to be back in more of a normal travel environment, so you'll be able to know that if you've got 6 or 8 in your party, we could put you all in the same bread and breakfast. Right.
And you can also accommodate, because I think my wife has talked with you about this some, even to the extent of, I'm making up one here, if we wanted to go to Pennsylvania to the Amish country and we just said, hey, we want to be up there for like 4 nights, 5 nights, you could literally find us B&Bs or...
Yes, I could,
Yeah.
exactly. So you could stay right all over in that area and do all the local attractions that you wanted to do.
Right.
Maybe even have dinner at an Amish farm.
Right.
Which is, I mean, they do some awesome cooking, these Amish do. All over Pennsylvania and Ohio too. I mean, as a truck driver, I was fortunate enough, there was a little Amish restaurant in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. And my trainer, he had stopped there before, so we stopped and ate, and that was the most amazing meal to me.
Yeah.
You know, everything was just wonderful.
There is I mean, this has, well, I guess a little something to do with travel. There was at one time, I haven't been by there in years, but there was a little Amish bakery that was outside of somewhere between Wilkesboro and Statesville, North Carolina, out in the country out there. And I just remember going in that place a few times and, you know, getting loaves of bread and things like that. That was good food, good stuff.
They definitely can bake. They definitely can. They certainly can bake. So yes, I mean, seniors traveling together, and a lot of times I think about, you know, you want companionship when you're traveling, and a lot of times seniors do not want to travel just 1 or 2.
Right.
So that's why I think traveling in a group is such a great option for seniors, so that you can travel, because who doesn't want to travel and see new places, go places?
And you also, I mean, you see that, you know, the seniors, you know, been doing a lot of traveling. We're seeing that on cruise ships as well.
Yes, definitely. When I was on the Mardi Gras now, longer back than I want to think, about 8-9 weeks ago, I was amazed that probably 3/4 of the 4,000 people we had on that cruise ship were seniors.
Wow.
And they were just so happy to be back on board. And you see them sitting all over, the ladies will be sitting around knitting. Then they also like to participate in the bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo is big with the seniors on these cruise ships. And so, I mean, it was just amazing to see, you know, how many were on and how many were so grateful to be back. And a lot of them were doing what they call back-to-back. So they had been on there the week before.
Right.
Then they were doing that week, and some of them were staying on for the third week.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, which is kind of unusual in the summertime. Now, they do a lot of that in the wintertime. When you get into November, December, especially January, February, you'll meet a lot of seniors on board that have been on there 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm going to be on there 6, 8 weeks.
Just curious, with the cruise ships now, do you see, I just remember this, my wife's aunt used to travel, do the cruises, and the big thing that they were involved in was bridge tournaments while they were on these cruises.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that is another big thing that you see on these cruise ships, especially for the ones that do a lot of the back-to-back cruises. They'll have these groups, these bridge groups. Sometimes it's a knitting club for the ladies.
Right.
You know, of course, they all love the casino.
Oh, yes. And you know, this is on the back of everybody's mind, or the front of everybody's mind right now. How do they accommodate safety now with all the COVID mandates and things like that?
So right now on cruise ships to board, of course you've got to be vaccinated, and everybody's having to take a COVID test before they board.
Okay.
Then you're boarding with mask on. Okay. Now, depending on where you are on the ship dictates whether you've got to have your mask on or not. Going into dining, we always had to wear our mask, and when you get seated, you can take it off. Whether you're sitting 2 of you or 6 or 8 to the table, you know, you can still take your mask off once you get in and get seated. In the theaters, you're going to have to wear your mask, because there's a lot more people in the theaters watching the shows at night. We had to wear them in elevators, because, you know, it's a close quarters.
Yeah.
Now, when we were out, even walking around the ship, even inside, we didn't have to have masks on, because there's so much distance, and you can stay apart. Now, in all the stores, which is one of my favorites, I have to go in the stores. Bill would tell you if he was here. That's me. I'm in the stores looking at shopping. We had to wear masks.
Okay.
So I think they're all pretty much trying to social distance as much as possible. Wear the mask. If everybody is vaccinated for COVID, and you're taking a COVID test before you board, it makes it a much more safer environment for everybody on board.
Now, when we go on a cruise, we've been in the Bahamas, where we've been, and we're coming back in, do we take a COVID test before we leave the ship?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to coming back on the ship. Now, what I did find out is that Carnival, when we were on the Mardi Gras, they were checking their staff every 3 days that were doing COVID tests. And they said that way they felt like if anything broke out, they were going to catch it right in the very beginning. Right in the beginning.
And we talk about having the masks, for the protection during this time, and how do they, or what do they do on the ships as far as, I guess, just the daily maintenance or cleaning?
Well, in my mind, and anybody that's ever cruised knows that cruise ships to me are extremely clean.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see them clean at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and if you're up at 2 a.m. in the morning, somebody on that ship is cleaning. They are constantly wiping rails down, they're constantly cleaning. So, I mean, I noticed, you did see the normal cleaning going on. They've always had hand sanitizers. They've got more places to wash your hands. And, of course, the crew all wore masks. They couldn't do without a mask the entire time they were out.
Right.
So, to me, and, of course, we were in a resort in Orlando the week before we boarded the ship.
Right.
We checked in. They said, we're not going to be cleaning your room. And this really nice resort in Orlando. So we're not going to clean your room. If you want your trash carried out, you'll put it outside your door. So when we boarded the Mardi Gras, for the steward to come up to us and say, we are still cleaning cabins once a day. Would you rather have it in the morning or at night?
Okay.
That was an amazing thing to me, because you know what? To know that you're going to get up the next morning and you're going to go out enjoying, a port or enjoying the ship, and that somebody's going to come in and clean my room. Because when we were at the resort, we had to clean after ourselves.
Yeah.
Not that I mind making my bed, okay? But it's just the fact that nobody came in the entire 7 days and cleaned nothing for us at this really nice resort. But on the cruise ship, they're coming in, they're clean.
Right.
And it makes a difference to me to know that somebody's coming and freshen up your bathroom, somebody's vacuumed.
Yep.
Not that we're dirty travelers, but I like that
It's
to know
nice.
that
Yeah.
It's nice to know they've done that. They've cleaned.
Right.
And the room smells clean and fresh when you come back in. So I think cruising is definitely something that, for vaccinated passengers, it's a great world. And you see a lot of seniors enjoying cruising.
Right. So, okay, what is your favorite cruise? Or your favorite trip? What do you like the most?
Well, I think my favorite cruise, okay, and I do love to cruise, but it was the Mediterranean.
Okay.
Because we flew into Rome when we boarded the Norwegian Jade, and we did 9 ports.
Okay.
In 11 days, and it was just amazing to be in Europe and walking around and enjoying. The day we ate pizza in Naples was amazing to me when they came in and sat down, and when they brought the pizza, there was 4 of us at the table. I thought, okay, that's a pretty good size for the 4 of us. No, everybody got one that size, okay? And it was just amazing to eat it, because pizza in Italy does taste a lot better than pizza here.
Right.
And I love pizza, and I can tell you where you get great pizza, but that was amazing. And of course, then after the meal, they brought you the little espresso, and that was a nice little shot of espresso.
And we talked about this earlier before we started tonight, that we were traveling in Europe one time, and some folks in our party asked the waiter if we could get some decaffeinated coffee, and the waiter was really curious, why would you want to do that? And I thought, I like this guy, he's my kind of person. In Europe, when you're traveling, you get a whole lot of the real stuff, regular, really nice, good coffee, and real butter, and a lot of what I call artisan breads, things like that you may not get on a regular basis elsewhere.
Oh yeah, the food is just unreal. We were able to eat in Florence at a little pasta place, kind of like a mom and pops, and they had the best gelato.
Oh yeah.
Gelato was just, I couldn't even hardly figure out which kind I wanted.
Right.
They had so much variety, but it was awesome. And the coffee, the little coffee shops.
Right.
You don't get coffee like that here. You really don't.
Yep.
That coffee is just amazing.
Good stuff.
They're definitely good. And of course, you said you had been all over Germany, Oktoberfest. That's a great time for seniors to visit Oktoberfest over in Germany.
We went on a trip over there, and I was just, of course, it's North Carolina has gotten into the microbrewery business or way of life in the last few years, and we were in Germany many moons ago, and every town had a whole lot of microbreweries, little family breweries. They were just everywhere. And of course, Oktoberfest, they're just running, waving the flag for that all over the place. And everywhere you went, everybody had their own little home brew that, come on in. So that was incredible to see all of those, breweries in all these different towns. Just a very, very interesting time.
I'm sure it was a fun time.
Yes,
very
it was.
Fun time. Just like next year, we are planning to be in Ireland on Halloween. We're going to do a 9-day tour of Northern Ireland as well as Ireland. And then, of course, Halloween night, we're going to stay in Dublin. Because I've heard you want to be there on the Halloween night, so we're going to stay in Dublin for that night. But that is going to be an amazing trip because I've not been to Ireland. So I can't wait. I keep now counting the days down.
Now, I know
less than a year.
This is probably a crazy question, but like in Ireland, which, obviously smaller than the United States, what's I guess they're mostly like privately owned hotels, or do you have the chain operations there? Or?
You have some chain operations, but you have a lot of private owned hotels, and of course you can also stay a night in a castle, which would be amazing to me to stay inside a castle. That's one of the reasons I want to go is to see all the castles and the food. There again, the food. When you think about Irish food.
Yeah. Now the privately owned hotel, is that this trip you will be doing some of the privately owned hotels?
We will be, and we're doing it with Cosmos, one of Global's family brands products. So of course they arrange everywhere you're staying, but yes, we will be staying in some of the smaller places as well as some of the name brand hotels there.
Right. The trip that we took, we were in some, what I call the mom and pops hotels, as well as a couple of the Continental brand. I guess Continental's still around. In some of the places we were in the Continental, but we stayed in a lot of locally owned hotels, and most of them were, from what I could tell when we were there, they were family owned and operated. 2 or 3 generations of that family were in that hotel running the show. They were pretty interesting places to stay. A lot of fun. Interesting things.
Yep, and of course we'll be checking out some of the pubs in Ireland, which we know most of those are all family owned.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, it's going to be a great trip. It's going to be a great trip. We're going to get to see the Titanic Museum. So that's going to be another exciting, because I didn't want to go just to Ireland and not get to go to Northern Ireland because there's so much to do. So this is a pretty inclusive trip. And we've still got some room if anybody would like to join us. We've got some seniors traveling. We've got a few younger people traveling. We've still got some room on that trip. And it's going to be an amazing time in Ireland.
Now, what kind of places would you normally, like this trip, what types of places will you go to, or people kind of do where they want to go in a certain area, or do you kind of give some guidance there, or?
It's a pre-planned tour.
Okay.
So there'll be a tour guide and a local host on board. So we're doing a lot of things. We're seeing castles. We're seeing the distillery in Dublin. And I was told you want to go up into the tower because the original wood from the distillery is in that tower.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that would be really interesting to see. At first I thought, well, I'm not even going to go to the distillery. But then when I was told that, I'm like, wow, I definitely want to go.
I don't know if we can ask this question, but is this the Guinness Distillery?
Yes, it is a Guinness Distillery.
All right.
Yes, it is. It is in Dublin. Yes, it is, absolutely. So yes, we're going to go there. And of course, we're going to be able to see the Irish dancers one night.
Oh, yeah.
There's just so many attractions. We're going to get to kiss the Blarney Stone. Okay. And I told everybody I'm going to do it, Bill said, I've got to take a picture of you doing that. Because you have to lay back and be over your head to kiss the stone.
Okay.
But it's supposed to bring luck, okay? So I said, I've definitely got to do that. Of course, I mentioned the Titanic Museum. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. And the thing is, the VIP tour and being able to get in first, front of the line. And then we'll have some free time. I've had people say, we're going to have time to wander around our own. We will. There'll be a lot of free time in every day built in so we can do things we may want to do and wander around.
Now, what are going to be the major cities that you'll be visiting on that tour?
We're going to be going to Dublin. Of course, I mentioned Belfast.
Right.
We're going to be doing Shannon.
Okay. I know that.
It's some of the top ones we're going to be doing on that trip. So, But we have a lot of interesting trips coming up next year. We're also going to Hawaii on the Norwegian Cruise
Okay.
Line on the Pride of America. We're doing that in September. And I mean, that's going to be a great trip. And I actually have a senior Navy guys, retired Navy guys that are on board.
Okay.
So we've got about 12 different cabins of them on board.
Now, where will you leave from? What port will you leave out of?
We're going to leave from Honolulu. Honolulu is where we're leaving out of. We're going to fly from Raleigh-Durham to Honolulu.
Okay.
And we're going to board the Pride of America. And then we're going to cruise the islands. We're going to overnight in Maui. We're going to overnight in the Big Island. So we're going to do a lot of interesting things in Hawaii. And there again, I can't wait to try the coffee.
Oh, yes.
We're going to go to a coffee plantation. I can't wait to see it.
Kona.
Yes, Kona coffee.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is going to be another great trip. So, well, this has been fun tonight, Mr. Sherrill, talking about senior travel.
We're done.
And you've been to, we're just about, you've been to Europe to some places, and you've traveled some across the United States. There's a little Bavarian town out in the state of Washington that I'm just dying to go to because it's just, they say it's just like it is in Europe.
And what's the name of that town? Do you know offhand?
I do, and it left me, and I know what it is.
Because there's one in Texas.
Yes.
Also.
And there's one in Georgia.
Okay.
And there's a Dutch town in California too. Now I know the name of that town, but it's just done left me. If you haven't said it.
The one in Texas, I can Bromfield.
Yep.
Is the name of that town.
Yep.
I went to a Oktoberfest in Bromfield many moons ago when I was still in college, I think. Interesting little town. It was like being in Germany.
Oh yeah. They say this one is. It's like 45 miles from Seattle.
Okay.
Easiest way to get there is on Amtrak. So, yep. So I've got my eye on that too. I mean, I just travel. I mean, I could probably sit here and talk 365 days about where I want to travel, what I want to do. I mean, you know, so many places are on the bucket list to do.
Oh yeah.
You know, so many trips.
Yeah, I know there's got to be. I'm thinking of some things that my parents have done, places they have been through in the years. They went on I call it a snow train in Canada.
Yes.
You familiar with that? Okay.
The Canadian Rockies train.
There you go.
Right.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
And that is an awesome trip to do too. And I know a lot of your seniors like to do that because they have time to do it. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for something to do, and if you're thinking about that Christmas gift for this year, what better than to give somebody a gift of travel?
I would have to agree.
Yes, the gift of travel. And of course, we didn't touch on this, but Disney World is another place seniors like to go. And I can understand that because you got time to walk around and be young at heart.
True.
And enjoy those parks. And who has more time than our seniors when you're retired and you've got time to spend time at Disney and enjoy all it has to offer?
And take the grandkids, right?
Right here at the 50th anniversary, everybody wants to go. Yes, they do, and they're doing it for 18 months, so everybody's got a chance to go.
Wow. Okay.
Well, this has been extremely fun tonight. We're going to have
Thank
you
you.
back on talking about senior travel, and we'll see you guys next week where we're going to be talking to Dr. Jean about healthy traveling, so we
Yes.
know how to travel healthy.
That will be interesting.
Yes,
that
it will be.
Interesting. Yep.
So y'all have a good week this week, and we'll see you back next Tuesday night.
Good evening.
Do you remember the joys of hide and seek? The anticipation of peering around corners? The intrigue of an unfamiliar path? The thrill of finding that secret spot? Those shrieks of delight, the pure sweetness of discovery, they can all be had again when you seek out the hidden treasures of the world. The towns with no traffic, the coasts with no crowds, the nooks with no noise. Away from the trodden, the congested, and the expected, we invite you to put down the guidebooks and pick up an accent instead. To trade the lines for limoncello and the chaos for the catch of the day. Traveling from cliffs to caverns and volcanoes to valleys, you'll find secluded shores, sun-washed cities, and moonlit bays. Places to delve into the stories of mythical heroes or take in the wonder of living art. Paths to walk in the footsteps of poets or jump in the footsteps of Olympians. Waters to dip your toe in the past or make a grand splash right now. From the colorful parks of Croatia to the whitewashed Isles of Greece, the villages and vineyards of Italy, to the majestic mountains of the United States. Our undiscovered itineraries go where other tour operators don't and allow you to spend days where cruise ships only spend hours. We lead you off the beaten piazzas and down the cobblestones less traveled to discover the unspoiled, the unexpected, the unchanged, and the unsolved. The wonders of the world are hiding. It's time to open your eyes and go find them. Discover the undiscovered with Globus and Cosmos.
The magic is calling you to the Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary celebration. The magic is calling you to a celebration 50 years in the making, with the magic you believe in and the worlds you love shine like never before. Join us for the Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary celebration.
Buying a Toyota should be as fun as driving one. This is Trey Turner from Rocky Mountain Toyota, where we've made the car buying process simple. Get straightforward pricing on all your favorite Toyota models, so you can skip the hassle and the haggle and get back on the road in no time at all. Plus, enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our complimentary lifetime warranty, unlimited time, unlimited miles. Come see me today at Rocky Mountain Toyota or shop online at RockyMountainToyota.com.